Hey, Happy New Year's, everybody. This is Daniel here once again with DM Network Solutions. Today, we are gonna talk about how to create a flow, how to create custom objects, and how to create roll-up fields for your Salesforce organization. All right, so take a look at here and stay tuned to see how you can do all this. All right, so here we have we are in a custom object, and the purpose of this is a custom object where it tracks inventory items, and we are going to use two custom objects, and it's a parent-child relationship with master detail and roll-up fields and lookup fields. Okay, just to get so you guys can see what it looks like. Here is one of the final products right here. So we have our custom inventory location item, which has the name of the location, and it shows the account what's related to, who is the site manager. It gives you the address and a physical address with Geo Location. All right, and then there's some roll-up fields here in this second section here that shows us the total items count, and then you can specify what you want to look into. So we have some roll-up items here with diaper sizes. So this inventory is good for tracking. Well, we're going to use it to track diaper inventory. You can use it for tracking equipment, computers, pretty much anything you want to track. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look here at the objects, and this is what it looks like. So to break it down, we have two objects. We have the inventory location is the parent object, and that's what I just showed you. It has the name, the site manager, address, and then some roll-up fields. And we also have a inventory item object, which is gonna roll up all the details for each item. Okay, so it has a name, it has a isActive field. That's a checkbox. I'll show you how we're gonna use that in a few minutes. We also have the main type and a subtype, which subtype is a dependent field of the main type pick list. We have a quantity, amount, number. We have a stage. Then we have our master detail relationship here to inventory location. We have another pick list for the source and a lookup field for the benefactor. Okay, so there's a few relationships. There's one master detail that relates to the inventory location, and we have some lookup fields to look up who is the person donating, who is the account under, and who's the manager in charge of that location. Okay. So if we jump back into our settings, we can go into our object manager for the inventory location, and this is what that looks like. So we got quite a few fields here, and then we have also some roll-up summary count fields. So this is going to give us a live count of all the objects that we have added. So you can get pretty creative with that. Right now we're just tracking diaper sizes, but you can make roll-ups of pretty much any object. in the detail record. Okay, so now you've seen how it looks. Now we also are creating this flow that allows us to, because if we normally add a record here, we can go to related and we can click new and this is how you create a record. So see all of our all of our inventory items are here, and it has a subtype which gives us only the items that we need for that. Okay, so that lets us be pretty detailed with our items that we're reporting, we're tracking. So just for the sake of this experiment here, we're gonna be selecting a diaper size, and then we have our location. Where is this located at? And then we have our stage, and then this is the amount of diapers of size 3 that we have in this package, and this was the source. You can say where it came from, and then who was the donor. You can actually look up the account of that person, the household, the company. It's not a required field, so we can just create it. And there we go. That's our record, and we can take a look at our records here. Let's see, there's quite a few. Here's the one we just created. All right, great. Now what we want to do is we want to create a lightning component that lets us add multiple items at once. Okay, and here it is. So this lightning components is using a flow. Okay, so basically we select our location, what kind of item we wanna add, what's the size that we're adding. Let's see, let's add size 1. We got 0 size 1 right now, so we want to add 10 size 1 and each one has 50 diapers. Okay, so here's confirmation, what's gonna get created, and then the amount of records is 10. Okay, so this one has a test. This is a field that's showing us what's happening. See, so we're clicking next because it's showing us a confirm page, but we can remove this test page here, and it will create all 10 records at once. Okay, so but see how each iteration is creating a record. Okay, so one more, and after that 0. Okay, so here's all the 10 records that it created from a collection. All right, so here we go. So see, it just updated. Now we got 10 packets of size 1. Okay, so that was how we can add multiple records using flow. Right, so how do we do that? All right, so here's our flow, and basically we use a few new features from flow. So if we go to our screen here, we have what is called a lookup. So from this lookup, we used it to look up the company, right, or the location. I mean the location. So this location. So basically we find the field that we want to use. So this is the inventory location custom field, and this is on the inventory item object. Okay, so this is a lookup object. Okay, So this actually is the master detail lookup. Okay. So from there, we're gonna save a variable, inventory location selection, and that's it. So we got our lookup field here, and then the dependent list, pick list. We use the dependent pick list lightning component, screen component, and this one requires 3 things. Okay, this one requires you just name it something. Okay, you can name it whatever, and then you choose what is the object API. So we're looking up once again inventory item, custom object, and the controlling pick list is the inventory type. Okay, and then the dependent pick list is the subtype. So you grab those 2 from your custom object. Okay, so your inventory item. So you're actually picking your field name. Okay, so you find the one you want to use. Okay, so here's the sub item, and then here's the subtype, the main type, and then the subtype. Okay, so those are the 2 things you need, and then you can put a label to it. If you want it to be required, you can use the constant value true, and then the value type. Okay, so you can use a variable. This is where it's going to get saved to, the value, and then basically for the second one you do the same. You make it required, you set a variable for the value, and that's pretty much it. Make sure this is unchecked, the manually assign variables, because it's easier just to use this up here. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so the other required thing here is the amount of records to add. Okay, so this is an input the user is going to put. I want to add 10 records. I want to add 5 records. So this is the number, and once again, this gets set to a variable, amount of selection, and then we have quantity. So this is just another optional for diapers. You know, we want to track the amount of packs and the amount of diapers in each pack, so we use quantity. This might not be for every inventory item, but we're using a record as the package. So each package is 1 record, and then inside that record there's a quantity of items in the pack. Okay, so for us it makes sense. For you might have to use that or not use that, but the quantity is just a number. Okay, and we set that to a variable also. Okay, all right, so that's pretty much it for our first screen, and then we're gonna assign those values to a record, a single record. Okay, so the single record is called to create record choices. Okay, and this is gonna map the inventory type, subtype, the quantity, the inventory location. Okay, so we're using the location, and then we're also gonna set some other variables by default. So active is true. The stage, we put it available. The source, we put in source donation, and amount selection, we are also setting that from the input. Okay, and then here, when we're not using the custom variables, we are using the ones from the screen. Okay, so for CSS select type, that's the name of that screen component, and it's using top value, so that's the one, the first pick list. Okay, and then the subtype is the middle value. And then see for the location is we got the record ID. Okay. Alrighty, so that's pretty much it. So what that does here just shows us the confirmation, and we're just mapping some fields here to some words. So that just lets us see what's going on. And then we have our decision. So if they put more than one record, more than one in the box, then it creates multiple records. If they put less than one, or if they put one, it creates a single record. If they put more than one, it creates multiple records. Okay. And the single record just takes those choices and it creates a record. The multiple record, then it does kind of like a loop within the decision and assignment. So we're not using the actual loop. This is more when you are looking up records and you got a list of records. But I couldn't figure out, so I just use a decision and assignment, and once it reach the number down to 0, then it just creates all the records. Okay, so here the decision is if the amount equals 0, it stops. Okay, otherwise it continues. So here it goes here first, so it subtracts 1 from the amount. So if you have 10, it subtracts 1, then you got 9. So once that reaches 0, then it ends, right? And then what it does, it's picking all those fields that we created that record to, and we adding it to a collection of those records. Okay, so you use the add operator for that. So we're subtracting 1 from the amount and we're adding a record. So, and then here it just shows us the amount that's left, and it gives us like just a detail what diaper size it is. So this screen, if we remove this, once we click from here, it finishes. It goes, it does all this in the background. Well, here it's showing us what's doing for testing purposes. So we'll remove that once everything's good. Okay. And then it just takes that collection and creates multiple records all at once. So that's good for not hitting your governors and limits and all that. And then at the end, it just shows us the collection that created. All right. Okay, great. So that's our flow. That's our flow, nice and simple. It seems to be working. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to figure out how to now delete or change the status of the diapers. Okay, because we're not deleting anything, but what we're gonna do is to control the inventory is we're just gonna change the status of it. Okay, so that's why when you saw here 42, okay, so our last one we created, it has a status of active. See, so that lookup field, what it looks for is the subtype, so it counts how many subtypes are they active. So if we make that inactive or uncheck it, and that's going to be done by the stage here. Okay, so it'll either be reserve or distributed, right? Once you give it out, right, you no longer have it. You have a record of it, but it's been given. So distributed will uncheck is active, so it's no longer active because we don't have it. Right, so that should change the count here. Okay, so let's see, we should have 9 now. size 1. There you go. So we got 9. So that way is an easy way to kind of control the live. Now the good thing about using rollups is if we pull up this record here, right, this we don't have to change this because this is a location. A location is going to be there as long as we have these things here, they'll be here. Can we change the locate? I think we can change. Can we change? But we don't have to change this much, right? But it shows us the numbers as they are instantly. We don't have to hit refresh. We don't have to do anything. You can create reports and dashboards. The only problem with that is you always got to hit refresh to see all the latest stuff, you know, or create a new report. So this is pretty cool because we can at a glance see all the inventory at once. So all you need to do is just create all these rollups and you can track a lot of these things at once. At the end of the month, you can create reports that show you more details of each thing that happened, right? But as far as knowing what's the inventory offhand for certain things, these rollups, and it shows it by location too. So all these are according to what's in this location. So I think that solves a lot of issues at once. It's pretty simple. We created this in a few hours and seems to be working fine. Now the next flow we're gonna do, it has to do with allowing people to self-register, to request the assistance, and it will place inventory that's in stock on a reserve for those people, first come first serve. Then the system will send emails to confirm and RSVP and notifications until the day of their distribution. And once the person checks in and receives the assistance, right, the status will go from reserved to distributed or from reserved to available according to if they show up or not. Okay, and then that will remove or change the numbers according to those statuses, right? So I think that will be pretty cool. So how do we add this flow here to the screen? We simply did an edit page, and when you go to edit page, you can place this anywhere, right? We just place it on this record page, basically inventory location record page, and we just grab a flow, we dragged it over here, and then you can pick which flows you want, and that was pretty much one of the flows we can pick from, and that's it. Save it, and we activated it for 2 of the apps. We did an activation for our program apps. Okay, so not every app, just those 2, because those are the ones that need it. The next thing is we will set security access so nobody can change or delete. You don't want nobody to delete these records. Okay, so yeah, let's do that right now actually. So what you want to do is go to your settings, and what you want to do is let's set the I'm gonna go to profiles. Okay, so let's see. So we're gonna go to object settings, and then we're gonna go to inventory. Inventory locations. Okay. So right now they don't even have access. Okay. Okay, you got read, create, view all. Okay. All right, let's. Okay, so I think that's it. All right. So our staff can read and create and view it. They can't delete it. Let's see. Inventory. Okay, so this permission set is gonna let them create, but not delete. Yeah, only an admin can delete it, and probably shouldn't. Okay, so let's do. See, modify all. See, he does everything, but. Okay, so I don't know. Let's click all that. All right. All right, they can do everything except delete it. So if we like, you can give this to this permission set to somebody that's gonna manage adding inventory locations. Okay. All right, so I think that's it. Have to test it out in the live world. This is in a sandbox, so. All right, so definitely give this a try. If you have any questions, give me a comment below. This was a little project I tried to do today, and it took me better bigger part of the day to complete it. I'm glad I got it completed. It helped me learn a lot about flows and how to create projects quicker and faster. And yeah, everything looks good. So definitely give us comments below. We should be releasing more videos soon. Stay tuned, subscribe, give us a like. Thank you, and happy trails.